After the Second World War, the Soviet Union was thriving as a nation, but unfortunately they lost the Cold War. As a result, communism in Russia ceased to exist. But the year is now 2000, and Russia is an anarchy. We've got no stability, no army, no industry, no research, nothing. But we start the game at war with Chechnya, so we'll deal with them first. And that war wasn't much of a fuss. Well, with our newly acquired territory of Chechnya, we are going to increase our influence over the territory to stabilize our nation. Now, I didn't come here for the oligarchs to take over Russia, so I want to reunite the Soviet Union. Seeing how much of a success it was just unlucky that they lost the Cold War. So, we'll prepare some elections. Now, in the Millennium Dawn mode, the Russian elections are quite broken. Or not broken, they're just too simple. With a click of a few buttons, you can switch ideologies. I'm not complaining. We have now got Shuganov as a leader, who I believe can fulfill Lenin's dreams. Well, more importantly, we have unlocked the Soviet side of the focus tree. Now, with the completion of the first Soviet focus, we've got 3 options to choose from. 2 of them are very interesting, but I'm going to stick to the dominant Communist Party. To secure Soviet control over Russia, we'll commit purges and ban elections. We'll also get rid of the corrupt oligarchy. I am now going to restore cities to their former Soviet names, like Leningrad, Stalingrad, and Gorky. If Russia wants to keep up with Western countries, we're going to have to improve our industry drastically. So that's what I'm going to do. With the completion of a few focuses, I can fully modernize our industry. Another thing which is extremely outdated is the Russian military. If we want to keep up with the Western countries, we're going to have to improve our army tactics, army commanders, and our technology. With the completion of the Reserve Officer Training System, we can officially get rid of the outdated Russian army debuff. This is another broken Millennium Dawn feature, where if a country nullifies a debt, you get a free war goal against them, which is pretty overpowered. For us, I get a war goal against Azerbaijan, and they're bordering us, so I'm going to declare war on them. Now, Iran also joined in the war, so I'm going to give them a small territory to the south, and I also gave back some territories to Armenia. Meanwhile, I annexed the rest. But to officially be the Soviet Union, I'm going to complete this focus. With that done, we have changed our country color and our country name. Now it's time to retake the breakaway countries that we lost in the 1991 coup. We will start with countries like Ukraine and our beloved ally, Belarus, who has always been loyal to Russia. We'll also look over to Central Asia. Now, we've got enough influence over those countries, so I've annexed Ukraine, Belarus, and also Central Asia. Looking over to the Caucasus, I've annexed some small minor countries that haven't been recognized by NATO. But we're not done yet. We've still got to annex countries like Georgia and Armenia. And it wasn't really hard to increase our influence over 60% to annex Georgia and Armenia. I'm now going to try to reform the Warsaw Pact, and our first target will be Poland, where Warsaw is located. I'm going to try to overthrow the government and replace it with a communist one. It is now time to overthrow the current Polish government. And just like that, Poland is back under Soviet control. So we can now reform the Warsaw Pact. With the completion of this focus, I'll get war goals on NATO or Western countries in Europe. I will now declare war on Finland because they are not in any major faction and they haven't really got a strong military. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm also going to declare war on Sweden, because they're not in any major faction as well.
Для правды не щади. Нам, ребята, в этой жизни только с правдой.
And that war wasn't much of a fuss. Either way, it's still a major Soviet victory. I will now try to attempt to coup the rest of Eastern Europe. The Soviet campaign in Eastern Europe was going extremely well. We increased our influence over 60% in countries like Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and even Albania. And just like that, almost all of Eastern Europe was under Soviet control. Moving over to Central Europe, I'll try to coup Germany. Meanwhile, I'll invade Austria, because they are not in any major faction. And for the first time in history, the Soviet Union owns all Austrian territories. And just like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, Germany is divided from East and West. Now, Western Germany has got a focus against Eastern Germany, who is in my faction. And Western Germany has declared war on Eastern Germany. So, I'll help out my comrade in need. Now, I defeated Germany before the United States, England, France, etc. could join. But Italy, Greece, and Turkey did join, so I also get them in the peace conference, which is pretty nice. Now, the Afghan Northern Alliance wants to join my faction, and they are currently at war. But I'm not going to decline this, because I get Afghanistan for free, and the Soviets lost the war in Afghanistan, so I'm not going to have to deal with them later. And that war was a bit long, but we still won it. I justified some war goals on the border countries, and Lithuania's war goal has completed. So, let's see how long Lithuania can survive against the mighty Soviet Union. Well, it didn't surprise me that I only lasted a few seconds. And it is now time to retake the beautiful city of Riga. And the Latvian army didn't last long as well. And we can't forget about Estonia. And we have successfully assimilated all of the Baltics. Now, I'm not going to annex Transnistria, I'm going to puppet Transnistria, because no matter what, they're still going to stay loyal to the motherland. The people, the army, and the motherland are prepared to avenge the Cold War, to declare war on NATO, to get rid of evil Western capitalism. Anyway, let's try to win this war. and after years of fighting in cold and harsh terrain has come to an end. The Soviet Union has prevailed over evil capitalism. We are victors over NATO. The Soviet Union has risen from the dead, and it has accomplished quite a lot in a short time span. We have defeated the Americans, and just to make sure that they will never rise up again, I've split them into many different independent states. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and